Hello everyone to the next episode of 99 zu 1, Krieg und Frieden mit Jakob. Today we have a very special guest, that is Surya Anta Ginting from Indonesia. Hello Surya.
Hello, Jacob.
Thanks a lot that you take the time. Surya Anta Ginting is a long-term activist from Indonesia, and you're the national spokesperson of the People's Liberation Party, PLP, that is a left-wing movement and party. You're also a member of Indonesia People Front for West Papua, or FRI West Papua. And you're also a writer and public speaker. You want to add anything, or?
No, that's enough. And also as a former political prisoners of West
Yes, right.
Papua.
Yes, we will talk about that, yes. We're meeting today because for a couple of weeks there are riots and clashes going on in Indonesia and across the country. And some observers are already drawing parallels to the May 1998 riots that ended Suharto's 3-decade rule. Before we go into greater detail, could you walk us through the main events of the recent protests so far?
Yeah, what we can see about the 25 until 31 August demonstrations is actually the meeting of we said it. This is the meeting of 3 points. First, that the people or many people of Indonesia so upset to the politicians, to the government, and especially to the parliament because of the economic crisis, because of the unemployment, because of the poverty line, and then because many officials, government, made a arrogant speech to the people. And actually, it's not started in 25 August, but started in a few months before, when a mayor in Central Java province, we call it a district party, 100,000 of people trying to demonstrate the government, the local government, because the government in the local raising the tax for the people about 250%, and that because the government of Prabowo, Indonesia president, decided to make an austerity program on budget, but on other hand, Prabowo decided to make a big cabinet, accommodate many parties in the parliament and his supporters, but also give a big budget also to the military expend. And but the government doesn't have money, and then that the Ministry of Finance trying to raise the income of the government from decreasing the budget for to the local government and taking more taxes to the people. And the second one, actually, this is the reality of the conflict between inside the elites, inside the bourgeois, between the Prabowo group supporters and his alliance, and also the former president, which is his son, actually the vice president of Prabowo right now. And we can say that during 28 August until 31 or after that, we can see that the supporters of both of two blocks of the elites taking part of the of the situations, such as a police and military support Prabowo, because Prabowo is it's a general from years before. And then the third point is some elites who wants to intervene situations, but they don't want to say that they are opposition, but because they're afraid to become oppositions. Then that is the meeting points of the three factors or three aspects. So the situations from 25 until 28 and more increase, the escalation increased because the police killed one of the driver online, motorcycle driver online, Afan, and then many peoples in many cities. I think until 31 August, more than 100 cities took a part in mobilization, and some cities burn the parliament building in some cities. That's
Okay, so yeah, tens of thousands of people went to the streets, and yeah, the state has responded to these protests with brutal violence. Can you tell us more about the repression and how it affected the movement, the protest movement?
Yeah, I think when Prabowo decided to consolidate all of the parties in parliament in, I think, in 30 August, all of the party, even the one party who not decided to become member of the coalitions, which is Megawati Soekarno Putri Party, PDIP, took a part in the consolidation. And then the Prabowo decided to make a clear message to the demonstrators, to the demonstrator, that the police should take clear message, clear act to the demonstrator, and then Prabowo called it as a makar, treason. In Indonesia, it's called makar, or in English, in Dutch, it's called aanslag. It's come from the Dutch colonial law. And then the Prabowo said that the demonstrators were terrorists. And during 35 August demonstrations, I think the mobilizations decreased, and then the chief of the police already said that if the demonstrator came to the dormitory of the police, you can take shoot them. And then after that, the Brigada Mobile, the special force of the police, Indonesia police, already take pressure with harass with hard act. 10 people were killed during 28 until 31 or 1 August in the morning, and 3 people were missing. I think now is 2 people were missing. 1 people already founded by the police. Actually, we don't know that if he were missing or actually already arrested by the police, and then the police realized that the many complained about the 3 people were missing. And then from 25 to 1 August, I think more than 3,000 were arrested in more than 70 cities. I think now In some cities, some of them were already released. Probably less than 1,000 still in the process of the in the police. So after 1 August, some military who were took a part in trying to take the campaign, to take the benefit credit from the movement in front of the Brigade Mobile Office police during the demonstrations. Police want the military want to take the credit. After Prabowo said that the police and the military should be united and take clear message to the demonstrator. We can see some we can see many uh, hard mobile uh, vehicle of the military uh, mm, run in some cities, in some important cities, and also in the in central Java, in Yogyakarta, and also in the main city of Indonesia, in Jakarta. It's like uh, there. Prabowo give a message that the demonstrator trying to overthrow him, but actually during 25 until August, the issue about people who want to overthrow the demonstrator want to overthrow Prabowo is not. It's not really an issue. The issue, I think, about uh the the government expand for the parliament member who were increased very high, and then some groups want to dismiss the parliament and local parliaments, and actually the wild ball uh, didn't come to didn't go to Prabowo, but this is the response of the Prabowo. And some issues, some issues from that they clarify from the journalists also, that some generals who support Prabowo actually give a proposal, give a draft to Prabowo to take during 30 and 31 August to take military act and or civil act to give to normalize the situations. And then even though Prabowo didn't decree the martial law or military law, but until today, the government, the military vehicle and troops still in the position, take the position in around the inside and around the parliament building, and trying to give a message that the Indonesia situation in the political crisis. But actually, after 1 August or 2 August, the demonstration is decreasing. And then uh, we 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 take the clear message that the Prabowo government trying to blame the situations to the activists and also to the people who campaigning about the demonstration, the demonstrations, and then trying to decoy the issues from poverty issue, from unemployment, from the gap income from uh, between the poor people, the workers, the laborers, and the elites. That's the situation, Jacob.
Yeah, okay. Just to clarify, you said that like this one taxi driver, he was run over by a military vehicle and killed, but the other like 10 people, they were shot by the cops, or how were they killed?
Uh, Two people died in South South Celebes, South Sulawesi, Makassar, inside of the parliament building.
Hmm.
I think they were public servant, and the building were burned,
Mm.
and it's still it's still a debate about that. Is it the building burned by the demonstrator, or burned by a group who were linked to the patterns of 1998?
Hmm.
Like in Surabaya, the historic building, uh, East Java, central province, uh, central city of East Java province. Like there is a historic building also burned. But this is the situations. I think the patterns want to give a message that if you burn something, and then you give us a reason to make a martial law act,
Hmm.
martial law decree, and at one people uh, killed by they called demonstrator. We still debated about that, and some of them killed by the bullet.
Okay. Okay, and then on September 1st, the demonstrators came up with a list of 25 demands. It's called the so-called 17 plus 8 list, because 17 demands were short-term and 8 demands were long-term demands. Could you explain a bit, yeah, what's the nature of these demands? What are you demanding?
We have to be clear about this uprising, this demonstrations. Actually, this is the spontaneous movement. So before I talk about the 17 plus 8 demands,
Hmm.
first, uh, among the movement actually confused about the the date of 25 August. Who arranged the date? Who planned it? No one understand who planned the date of 25 August. And then suddenly it become viral in TikTok. It not
Hmm.
it doesn't viral in Twitter. Most of the activists in the several momentum before campaigning about mobilizations and a date of demonstration in Twitter and Instagram. But this account, those accounts in campaigning about 25 August in TikTok. And then we realized that the account of the TikTok and the who make the viral actually long before were the supporters of the anonymous supporters of the government and Prabowo supporters. And then suddenly 25 August, uh, some of groups actually we don't know really who those groups. We don't want one right wing student Islamic groups, but five of them we don't know, and suddenly it becomes more than 5,000 um, before night, and then they campaigning about dismiss the parliament. So because the escalations increase, from 25 and then 28 August and then 29. Some of the movement are trying to intervene, and also the GS, the NGOs trying to intervene in the situation with some demands. So then some influencers who were not really political, but since 6 years ago, 2019 uprisings, anti-corruption and reformasi uh, uh, mobilizations. I was in jail at the time.
Mm.
Some of influencers took a part in mobilizations, and then in uh, in in August 2025, they they tra- they they trying to not only took a part in the field in the demonstration, but they're trying to make a recap of the some statements they campaign that distribute in the social media, and then they make the demands become 17 plus 8. Actually, it's not from any groups, but they are trying to recap to make a resume of the demands. So after the uprisings, after the demonstrations, some groups trying to push those demands 17 plus 8, but the governments uh, haven't agreed for some, even though they decided to make a promise to the people, to the influencers. But until now, most of the demands were not been done by the government. For example, withdraw of the military to the barracks, or make a independent team for the riots. The government still decided to put the military in some important areas, and they don't want to decide to make a independent team for the investigation of the riots 29 to 1 August. I think governments, they are confident about their coalitions, and then especially Prabowo took the situations to uh, to 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 take over some supporters of the previous presidents in the ministry. That's why Prabowo 2 times make a cabinet reshuffle. I think in the next weeks we can see more of the minister or vice minister will be reshuffled by the Prabowo government.
Yeah, right. 5 ministers, I guess, got fired until now, right? Yes, and like we've also seen, yeah, some other like concrete results. Like for example, like some of the government perks were partly at least rolled back. But when I get it right, like those 17 short-term demands, more or less none of them were fulfilled, right?
Yeah,
Like the cops and police are still yeah, in the streets, and yeah, like I have the list here. And yeah, like another demand was like to free all the like the detained protesters. Probably most of them are still in jail, I guess.
Yeah,
yeah.
And for the famous activists,
Yeah.
I think from the GSO, they're still also in jail. They promised to do police reformacy.
Okay, they promised that.
But actually, if you understand the constellations, uh, the Prabowo government, they want to do police reformacy, but actually they don't want to do military reformacy. Police had police chief and some general of the police. They don't want to to do police reformacy because these situations make them more privileged than actually in the law and the criminal process. But when the government do only police reformacy, and they will become under the minister of probably of politic and law minister, uh, or what, inside minister.
Yeah, interior.
But that that it's we can see it we can see that the conflict between the military and police, we can see that in these demands. So we demands that we not only talk about police reformacy, but we talk about the military reformacy that not fulfills since 1998 until now. Some of our demand on uh, military reformacy has been postponed because the elites don't want to do it.
Okay, so do you think, like, for example, like firing those 5 ministers, like, do you think these are like mere distractions by President Prabowo's camp to silence dissent and diffuse the protests, or like, do you think there's actually like substantial engagement like with those demands? Like,
No, I think Prabowo realized that 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 he cannot fulfill all the demands, but he realized on the other hand that he cannot overcome the economic crisis. So what he has done for these few weeks, this past few weeks, he decided to make public perceptions by postpone. We call it postpone, not cancelled, for the increasing budget for the parliament, and then asking for the to the chairperson of the parties in parliament to deactive some troublemaker of the parliament who make bad comments and bad speech to the people, and then to him he resolved for the minister, and then the minister decided to make uh, uh, kind of like short-term economic, giving 200 billion rupiah, I don't know, in dollars, to the. But actually, the problem is the people doesn't have money. They don't have money to buy. They don't have jobs. So if the money goes to the bank, it's not increasing the demands. The problem of unbalance of the supply and demands. Many 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 products were in the market, but no one can buy it because many people were unemployed at this time, and they are uh, already and understand that from January 2025 until December 2025, there will be more than 200 people were be workers will be fired, and the poverty line will be decrease will be increased. Yeah.
Okay, like you talked already a bit about it. But yeah, like the unrest is driven mostly but like by two aspects, like by the economic hardship and the anger at the political elites. Yeah, could you talk first a bit more about the economic crisis? Yeah, how was the developments in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years? How's the situation for the normal people on the ground?
Yeah, if we go back, uh, if you go back after Sukarno fall down in 1965 after the coup by the Suharto, supported by the imperialists. Suharto built Indonesia economic with debt from the EMF and ADB and the Paris Club. And then even though in 1970s there were oil boom, but the economic said that 30% of the loan give to the governments were corrupt by the Suharto regime and his crony. So from, let's say, 1967, since he became the acting president, until before 1998, Indonesian economic built by manipulations of debt and manipulations of economic growth. But actually, it's the economic depends on international economic, and Indonesia become very dependency to the economic markets. So when a monetary crisis, we can call it like that, in 1997 and then 1998, Indonesia, then Suharto fall down by the movement, and then Indonesia changed from the capitalism, militarism, economic to the neoliberal economic, to the very liberal economic that run by the we understand at the agreement between Suharto before he fall down, and the letter of intent with he signed the letter of intent with the director of IMF. So then we privatize many things of the government company. We only export our natural resources. We degrade our labor status from the permanent status, become the outsource or flexible market, labor market flexibility. And then the demands of the capacity of the people to absorb of the goods of the product in the market very low, and the capacity of the human decreasing very quick. So now those economic neoliberal policy is continuing from president after Suharto, Habibie, Gus Dur, Megawati, Jokowi, and then Prabowo. But the Prabowo, actually, he continuing the those policy, but he didn't realize that the previous presidents make we call it bad decision on building a new capital city in Borneo,
Mhm.
Borneo.
Yeah, because Jakarta is sinking, right? Like it will
Because
be
Jakarta is
drowning soon.
polluted and many things.
Yeah.
That's those programs. He has continuing those programs, and also he has big we call it big promise, like a free food, makan bergizi gratis, free food for the pupils. Our government budget actually, even though he has he talk about make a decision on austerity program on economic budget of government, but actually he made contradictive decisions by continuing to building the new capital city in Borneo, by taking buying 42 airplane from Turks for the military, and also increasing the military budget. So the the macroeconomic of the government will be deficit, I think, more than 600 trillion rupiah until 2000 late 2025. So what he has to do is asking to China about the new loan, or asking the BRICS state to support him, and on the other hand, asking more fiscal or more tax to the people. But he don't want to take. He doesn't want to take more fiscal, more tax to the international corporations or national bourgeois. That's he can do it, but he don't want to take it because what? Actually, he want to peace consolidations among the elite class and repressions to the poor people. That's he has to do, I think.
Yes. But could you talk a bit more, really like about the economic hardship of normal people? Like, people went to the streets, because, like their economic situation is just worsening. Could you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, I think the standard income in Jakarta, 5 millions rupiah. I think 5 million is about $250 a month. So that's in Jakarta, but in some area, in some cities, less than $170 a month. So how can the people how can they live for $170 or until 300 something dollar a month? They have to rent a house, they have to buy foods, they have uh, to to go to hospital to buy medicines, but everything the price getting high, getting increase. Uh, the price increased, so that's the situation, and some of them trying to survive uh, to uh, to become a uh, to become a driver online, but they the Grab company or the we call it Gojek company, they take more than what they can receive from the customer. So and the the taxi online, the taxi online company, they don't cover many things. What will be happen to the driver when they get crashes in the street, on the street, or something bad happens, they have to cover it by themselves.
Hmm.
So the situations, the economic situation, make the national frustrations among the people actually, because they have to survive, and on the other hand, the elites and the officials, they become more and more arrogant. That's the situation. Then more people become angry.
Hmm.
We call it in Indonesia amok, or you call it riots. And the problem is among the left very small and very fragmented, and democratic progressive also in those situations, and no one can lead these situations. No one can take and give the directions to the people, on the people who upside of the situation, and get angry about the arrogancy of the officers. And then these situations only can be handled by Prabowo. If Prabowo want to take this on the martial law and put and push and blame to the activists, that will be happen and already happen on the small scales to the some activists, and blame to the anarchists, or sometimes blame to anti-communists, and
Hmm.
then some NGOs.
Okay, yeah, that touches already like the second bigger aspect, like the widespread corruption among the political elites. Yeah, could you talk about that a bit more, please? Wait, I think your audio is off.
Unsure.
Okay, no, yes, now it's back on.
I think typical elites of the Indonesia, long time since before 1998 or after 1965, the elites of the Indonesias, they don't want to become uh, in front of the struggle. They waiting, and then after the mobilizations, uh, more than 1 million, then they take they steal the uh, political uprisings, and they want to become the next alternative. That's also happened in uh, in May 1998, when the student movement uh, took to the street, and the situations become riots because some military intervene, make provoke the situations, become anti-China, anti-Chinese dissent. Uh, some Many buildings and many cities were burned, especially that run by some Chinese company or Chinese uh, middle class. So then some elites come to the front and then say that they are alternative. That's happened when Abdurrahman Wahid, uh, the fourth president, and the Megawati Soekarno Putri, the fifth president, and some elites say meet and consolidate and said that they are alternative. But now in these situations, uh, the non-coalition party like PDIP, which whose chairperson were Megawati Soekarno Putri. Megawati Soekarno Putri is the daughter of the first president of Indonesia, Soekarno. Uh, let's say S- Megawati and PDIP have already decided after his general secretary arrested for the issue of the corruption. But then he met with Prabowo, and then the general secretary already released. Prabowo gave him a policy, and then some other elites, for example, Anies Baswedan, who in the last presidential elections, he was the president candidate and take the second positions before Prabowo. He also doesn't didn't take to give direction to the people because he has no power. He is popular, uh, but like the other elites, they don't want to take the risks. They wait for the situation, for the escalation when it's safe, and there will be if there were any friction and among the alliance of Prabowo, and then they will come as a to the public and said that they are alternative. So I think this is the situations that if the uh, popular organizations, left wing, and some civil societies groups can consolidate, I think this is the window opportunity to become the third block. I said it, the third block of the Prabowo or block of the Jokowi's groups, or we build the third block of the alternative. But the problem is many groups that didn't realize don't realize that this is the situations to build an political bloc of the third to become an alternative because many people were confused what will be happen in the future. They don't want to support any elites, but there is no alternative, and the uh, movement uh, still not decided to let's build an alternative and we can give a direction of to the move to the demonstrations to the upset people, and then uh, took took we call it a progressive way uh, be- compare of these situations.
Okay, let's get back to the protests a bit. Because like the protests are like remarkably widespread. Like I think almost all of Indonesia's 38 provinces, there were uprisings, protests. What can you tell us about the composition of the protesters? Like, are they mainly students, workers, young people, lefties, or like is it across the spectrum? Who's on the streets?
So I think uh, if we go back into 25 August, 25 August, I think some students, some poor people, and uh, driver online workers.
Hmm.
You can say taxi online drivers. But in 28 August, there is some groups, some unions who were affiliated to the Labour Party, and I give a mark to this party. The chairperson of the Labour Party, actually, the supporters of the president of the Labour Party, actually the supporters of Prabowo since 15 years ago. Uh, they mobilize in 28th morning, but before 1 o'clock p.m. they withdraw uh, the labor, and they take home.
Hmm.
But if we see more clearly from 29 to 31 August, actually it's very mixed. Some students took a part spontaneously, but very little. But most of them were citizens in the cities, driver online, uh, and some groups of the left wing trying to intervene, and also the GSO, but very small. But they cannot lead the situation, because this situation is the escalation is uh, is uh, unpredictable, and no one want to lead, uh, and no one understand actually uh, from whose group these mobilizations. So we cannot talk that this mobilization actually against Z
Hmm.
mobilizations, because the in Indonesia, for example, in Jakarta, or Jakarta and other city near from Jakarta, the driver online is about 1 million people, and the driver online around Indonesia, I think more than 3 million, more than 3 million. So the compositions of the demonstrator actually, I think, mix with
Hmm.
the uninformal, informal labor, local citizens, student, young people, or poor people. It's very mixed, and yeah.
Okay, yeah, you mentioned that the Gen Z led protests. I also read that like in a couple of articles like while preparing for that interview. Like for example, like in NBC News or other like Western liberal media, they always emphasize this, that it's Gen Z led protests. Like would you agree with that characterization, or is it just like another example that liberal Western media wants to, press everything through this like identity lens, or is it factually true?
Yeah, I think the flag. It's the flag. What I forgot the name of the flag. Uh, Jacob, do you know
Yeah.
the name of the flag?
No, what do you mean?
The pirate flags.
Like yes, like I know what you mean, like the pirate flag, like the common pirate flag, but with the stray head, right? Like from
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Japanese anime.
Yeah,
Yes,
the anime flag of
yes, yes, yes.
actually viral before the Independence Day
Yeah.
in Twitter. Viral and many people raised the flag spontaneously because, and then the response because they upset of the situations long before the flags. Uh, there are there a campaign about uh, run away from Indonesia for a moment. I don't know in English. I think that is correct or not. Kabur aja dulu, run away for a moment from Indonesia because Indonesia is uh, uh, yeah, confusing. So and then after the viral is hashtag kabur aja dulu, run away for a moment. And then some students campaign a hashtag movement Indonesia gelap, dark Indonesia. The more, I think those, and at the time, I think that happened March 2025. And then the escalations, the graphic of demonstrations, uh, increase in April when the government trying to renew the act of the military law, the act of military law of military. So, uh, but those law actually got Prabowo and his supporters win, and we lose for the law. Military take more many benefits from the situation from the law, and then the campaign from I think late of July to 17 August. Some of people's campaigning about the pirates anime flag, Japanese flag, Japanese anime flag, and because the government take it very seriously because uh, the ideology of uh, narrow nationalistic, they arrested some people and take some flags in the car or in the house or on the house. So it become more viral. So those flags started and viral in Indonesia, then spread to some cities, some countries like France and Nepal. But are we connected? I think not really connected. Organizedly. I think it's already viral in Indonesia, and Indonesia it's uh, one of the five biggest social media user: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I think it will be viral to many countries, and many people will adopt it. That is the spontaneous uh, spontaneous situations. So I don't think that this is organizingly by any movement to spread this. You see the Gen Z or the uh, pink pink movements uh, or any colored movement. It's not people actually who took a part in the demonstration from 25 and until 1 August. They don't really know about those anime flag. The poor people, they don't really understand about the flag. It's consumed by the young people who use social media, and they don't really know about why they have to use pink colored for any poster or flags uh, uh, or yeah, or flags. But they any and the democratic liberal groups just trying to put this is our color, just trying to name it, just trying to make a tag on it.
Hmm.
But actually more than 100,000 people who took part in uh, in more than 70 cities around Indonesia, they don't understand. They don't understand. They're just upset, and they took a part on the street. They took a part against the police, and took a part in some riots. That's all.
Okay. Let's zoom out a bit. Because in recent years, we've seen major uprisings, yeah, in a couple of countries in South and East and Southeast Asia, often toppling governments. Like there was Bangladesh in 2024, there was Sri Lanka in 2022. Yeah, just earlier this year, there was Nepal and also Mongolia. And yeah, just this week, like 2 days ago, and 1 day ago, actually yesterday, there was those protests in East Timor, like Timor-Leste, which is your eastern neighbor, like in Indonesia.
Also in Philippines and Malaysia.
Yes, exactly. Do you think that we are witnessing something like an Asian Spring, like an analogy to the Arab Spring starting 2011, or do you think that's like too long of a stretch?
I don't really can conclude that as Asia or Southeast Asia or uh, some part of Asia uprisings or spring, because uh, we, we are not really connected
Hmm.
from one country to another country. Uh, uh, like Indonesia and Nepal, or Indonesia and Bangladesh, or Indonesia and Sri Lanka, or for example, Indonesia and Malaysia. Even though in
Hmm.
Malaysia we use Malayan language inherited, uh,
And you share
or
Borneo with Malaysia.
yeah,
Yes.
upper place, upper
Yes.
uh, Borneo is Malaysia, and also in Timor Leste. But I think uh, for Timor Leste, I think some of issues related to Indonesia,
Yes.
because this is their last colonial. But even though we are trying to build a network in to Malaysia movement, but the economic and networking and integrations is not really integrated in these situations. So each of countries has their own issues, and most of the issues were the poverty gap, the poverty and the income gap, poverty, unemployment, and corruption issues. I think that's the common issues uh, in Philippines, Malaysia, and also in Timor Leste.
Hmm.
But it hasn't become a network and integration among the movement. Even though Nepal said this, the flag is come from inspired by the movement in Indonesia. Uh, Actually, we have to go to its context of the background of the issues, like the coalition of the uh, center left and the right wing left in the government cannot solve the problem of economic corruptions. But do we have a really integrated economic like in Europe, like you in Germany, France, England? I think, do we have common issues, a common common issues? I don't really think at this time, and and uh, because each of these this I think it's related to the situation that each of the countries in Asia were part of their colonizer. So they are
Mm.
like we are very uh, linked to America or Dutch or Malaysia, very linked to England. So
Mm.
it's not really integrated at this time. So I think this very very fragmented, very separated, the demonstration, the uprisings, and we hope it will be uh, took a straight vision if we build more network among other groups in Asia.
Okay, so you say it's not really connected, but maybe you can say it's like some kind of inspiration, maybe between the countries. Um, And but do you think like there is like especially among the left in the different countries there's like a wish or like some kind of drive to actually do connect all those struggles, or you think it's also like among progressive and left forces that it's really more or less independent and separated?
Yeah, we're trying to build those connections
Yeah.
between the left in Indonesia, in Thailand, in Malaysia, and Philippines. Uh, sometimes we use a common language, English, but we don't understand. We don't understand Thai English or Malay English or Cambodia English. It's very different in pronunciations.
Hmm.
So and I think the most problem is we we haven't realized the importance of the networking and solidarity built among the left in South, let's say Southeast Asia. Uh, each of our uh, each of the left still thinking about how to win them their struggle by themselves in their own country. I think the awareness about the integrations and the networking and solidarity building is most important rather than we have solidarity from Jacob in Germany or from someone
Of
left
course.
group in England or in America. The idea of those priority, I think, still low, still low among the left groups in its countries.
Yes. Okay, like in the end, I would like to become like a little more personal, because a couple of years ago you were imprisoned for Maka. You mentioned that already earlier, like which can be roughly translated to treason or rebellion or maybe even terrorism these days. Um, and you have described the charges as a sham and yourself as a political prisoner, so that it was, of course, politically motivated why they incarcerated you. Please tell us a bit more about that. What happened?
Yeah, in 2016, we decided to change our positions on West Papua. Before 2016, we only give solidarity on democratic and human rights post level
Hmm.
position on West Papua problems questions. Uh, But in 2016, we decided that we have to support the demands of the right for self-determination and acknowledge them as uh, the nations that were suppressed and colonized by the Indonesia state. And then we built Indonesia People's Front for West Papua in November 2016. But in 2019, uh, 15 August, 15 August 2019, in Papuan student dormitory in East Java, Surabaya city, Indonesia flag who were uh, who were put in front of the dormitory, student dormitory, will fall down, and then the military came to the to in front of the dormitory and yelling, monkey, yelling to the student, Papuan student, yelling, yell, yelling racist to the Papuan student. He said that you are monkey. You should go from the city. You should go back to from the city, from Surabaya. And then the next day, thousands of right wing groups were mobilized in front of dormitory, and then the police attacked to the dormitory, inside dormitory, and more than 50 students were arrested in the noon. And then 3 days after that, 19 August, 2 days after the Independence Day of Indonesia, many cities in West Papua Island. The West Papua Island is the same island with Papua New Guinea.
Yes.
But in west part of West Papua New Guinea, many people took part in the mobilizations, and some cities the escalate and then become riots. A few days later, we also took a part. We also held demonstration in front of Jakarta in 22 August and then in 28 August. But in 28 August, the Papuan student who took a part in the mobilization with us, raising the Morning Star flag. It is the flag of the West Papuan independence. I think that at the time, five Morning Star flag were raised, and then in front of the presidential palace. It's become humiliated for the Jokowi government at the time. And one thing, a member of the parliament said that this is makar, this is anslag, this is rebellion. And then in 30 August, some of our friends of the Papuan were arrested. And then in 31 August, I was arrested too, as the first non-Papuan, the first Indonesian who were arrested for the treason issues of Papua. So, but even though the uprisings were pushing back by the Indonesia government, but the issue of anti-racism become marked to the Indonesian people, that the Indonesian people shouldn't give any racist comments or any racist yelling to the Papuan. Days ago, a day ago, yesterday, yesterday, there is student pupils in one of High Islands district in West Papua, district Yalimo, who called monkey to his friend. And then it become riots. More than 120 non-Papuan Indonesian migrants ran away from district Yalimo. Many buildings were burned, trucks, car, and now the situations. I think the military and police mobilized to those area, and this is the fact that we Indonesians shouldn't make a racist comment to the people of West Papua, and we realize will be continue because the racism to the West Papua actually based on the characteristic of colonialism. Yeah.
Okay, I guess many viewers and listeners don't know too much about that. Like, there's this island of New Guinea, which is considered the second largest island in the world. And there's like in the middle a straight line. The eastern part is like an independent country, Papua New Guinea, and the western part is not occupied, but it's officially part of Indonesia. And in 1969 there was this like kind of sham referendum, like that this part will be integral part of Indonesia. But what's the interest of the Indonesian state in that part of the island? Like, why is the government so eager to keep it?
I think many capitalist countries eager to take it, not only Indonesia. So
sure.
Because why? This country, this island actually has a big minerals of gold, of oil, of uranium, and copper, and many natural resources for mining and for many things.
Yeah, wasn't it like the biggest copper mine in the world is on
New Guinea,
think the biggest, right? I think
biggest
so.
Of the second biggest.
Yeah.
One in 1936, during Dutch colony.
Yes.
One of geology from, I think from Scotland, found a gold mountain that's now called as Mountain of Grasberg. Actually, its originally name it's Gunung Nemangkawi, Mountain of Nemangkawi. So after the Cuban revolutions, the Freeport mining company running away from Cuba. Actually, it's a sulfur company, right? And then asking Sukarno that they want to operate in West Papua. But at that time, before 1961, West Papua actually not part of Indonesia. All of the movement since 1945 and after that want to take apart Papua to become in Indonesia because West Papua it's part of Dutch colony. But actually, Indonesia and West Papua it's a different province. Indonesia it's Dutch East Indies province, and West Papua at the time were Netherlands New Guinea province. Each Dutch colony has their own name province. So And then the Dutch government realized that this new state, leading by Sukarno, want to take West Papua. Dutch in 1961 uh, promised to the West Papuan activists to give independence, decolonization after 10 years. So from 1961 to 1971. That's made a promise, preparation for 10 years. But and then in 1st December there is declarations in front of inside the Netherlands Guinea Raad Parliament at the time, and the West Papuan decided in the 1st December as the Independence Day of the West Papua. But 18 days later, Sukarno decided to attack the Dutch and conclude that the new state and new government that built by Dutch uh, in West Papua, it's a puppet of colonial. So then Indonesia troops attack West Papua, and then in 15 August there is agreement between facilitated by United States, Indonesia and Dutch took a part without any Papuans group who took a part in the negotiations, and decided from 16 August until 1st May 1963 will be handled by United Nations. But 1st May 1963, and then actually handled by Indonesia. But before the late 1969 should be referendum. Its people took a part, vote, but because Sukarno fall down, Suharto decided to make, we call it what? We call it, I don't really understand in English. We call it musyawara. Only one leaders of tribe, so only 1024 leaders of tribe, chief of tribe who took a part and under pressures. And then it reportedly to United Nations that the referendum is already done, and then Indonesia and West Papua become Indonesia, part of Indonesia. It's manipulations and under pressures, because the military operations uh, push them and under the gun to took a part to Indonesia. Only I think 5 or 6 people who decided not agree to be part of Indonesia, and some of them were abstains, but mostly because under pressures they have to decide to become part of Indonesia. So for the West Papuan people, this is the manipulations. They want to do referendum, to do, because the previous referendum is a fake, it's a false referendum. They want to do referendum to decide it to become Indonesia, or to decide it to be independence as a new state. That's the history of the West Papua.
But they want to become like a second state, or they want to unite with Papua New Guinea?
No, they want to become separate state.
Yeah, okay.
Not part of the Papua New Guinea or Indonesia. Most
Yeah.
of them, and actually the Indonesia agency, intelligence agency,
Mm-hmm.
actually realized then that most of the more than 80% of the Papuans want to be independent. So, but if we understand the proportion of the population now in West Papua, the non-Papua is more than 50%. I think more than 51%, and the non-Papuan and the non-Papuan more than 50%, and the Papuan it's more than less than 49%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like the Australia scenario.
Yeah, okay. And you were, if I read that correctly, you were the first non-Papuan Indonesian to be charged with treason for supporting a referendum in West Papua, like the referendum you just mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah. What led you to become like a free Papua activist in the first place? Like, where's the connection?
Yeah. I was become activist since 2000s, and when in 2020 in 2002, that was the first time I make connection with the Papuan student in Yogyakarta. At the time, I was studied in Yogyakarta province. At the time, uh, I was asking why they want to be independent. This is only a military problem. This is only capitalism and imperialism and uh, but then it's not fast for me to understand their story and their history and their feelings. It took more than 11 years connection with them and more understanding that, and also the mistake of the left in the previous era. In in Sukarno era, I think before the independence 1945, all the factions in Indonesia want to be want they want West Papua become part of Indonesia, but they never ask to the West Papuan actually what they really want. They don't really understand who or what is Indonesia, who is the Indonesian people. If you go to Wamena, it's one province, quite really beautiful in Central Highland, West Papua. Actually, it's found by the missionaries in middle of 1940s. One priest asking what the village of this area, and he put his finger, and then he asking to to a woman, and the woman didn't understand. She thought that she asked about a boar, a pig, and and she said that this is a calm pig, and then it became the name of Wamena. Wamena, it's mean a calm pig. Wamena. So it was 80 years ago. They don't really know
Yeah, okay, I see.
about Indonesia. So when Indonesia activists decided and concluded the Papuan become is part of Indonesia, it's a false decisions. It's a
Hmm.
wrong decisions. And then in 1960s, uh, they know that Sukarno is a left wing, and Sukarno supported by the Indonesia Communist Party at the time, who also support to take over West Papua.
Hmm.
And they also know that the West Irian Barat, West Irian, West Papua operations were supported by Uni Soviet, Soviet Union.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they think that the Dutch is better than the left wing. The Dutch is better than Sukarno left nationalists or the communists. But many people forget that before 1950s, Indonesia Communist Party actually at the time disagree to take over uh, or to colonize West Papua because it's a very different. They don't have a same feeling as the nations.
Hmm.
Old leader of the at the time were kicked out from the leadership, and then the Indonesia Communist Party leadership it's very support Sukarno political decision on West Papua or and many things. So when I realize about their feelings about the mistake of the left wing on West Papua, and I realize uh, the constitutions, the very mystic words of the Indonesia constitutions. Uh, the first paragraphs. That's all the colonizations in the world should be erased.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think uh, our view about the West Papua should be changed, and we should see their view about their life and their history and their feelings. And we also realize that this militarization in West Papua, the slow genocide on West Papua, never be will never be finished if the colonizations on West Papua that's supported by the America, United States, and
Hmm.
other imperialist country still happen in West Papua. I think, uh, yeah, that's the positions.
Yeah, okay. To wrap it up, and to return where we started this conversation, do the Papuan demands for self-determination, do they connect to the broader protests we are witnessing, for a few weeks now, or is this totally disconnected? Like I don't know, when people in Jakarta go on the streets, is the Papuan issue also like like an issue or not really?
So this is the very typical issue of West Papua in Indonesia. Uh, we're trying to mainstreaming issue of West Papua
Hmm.
on Indonesia to make the Indonesian people understand. But sometimes, and many, yeah, I think often the West Papuan uh, think that the issue of what happened in Indonesia is not their issue. So the issue when uprising happened in 25 August until 31, only one group took a part in mobilization in Central City in West Papua, in Papua province. So, because for them, I think this is the thinking of the major groups in West Papua is for them their issue is about the independence. Other issue is not really important. So it's also happened when in 2000, I think in 2003, when we talk about oil increase, oil price. Some leaders don't want to take a part. I said that this is the opening. This is the uprisings that we usually took a part. So more people will understand about their issues. And this is economically also impact in Papua. I think that those problem of about strategy and tactics still are problems among the groups in West Papua and the leaders. How to put the tactics and strategy and put the situations, how to and the momentum, where the momentum goes, how to put the momentums on the connection to the relations of the situation in West Papua, still a problematic in theoretically and practically among the movement. Yeah. You understand?
Yes. I got it. Okay. Yes, Surya Anta. Thanks a lot. Like greatest solidarity here from Berlin, from Europe. That you achieve your goals in the struggles, and please stay safe.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And then thank you to all the
Sometimes
viewers.
we call it long life struggle.
Yes.
But I hope it's not very long. I hope we can achieve something.
Hopefully, you will see it in your lifetime. Okay, then stay safe, and thanks a lot to all the viewers, to all the listeners, and tune in next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Leute, wir brauchen eure Hilfe. Wenn euch dieses Video gefallen hat, klickt auf Like, abonniert den Kanal und vergesst nicht das Glöckchen zu drücken, damit ihr benachrichtigt werdet, wenn wir neuen Content droppen.
Außerdem solltet ihr uns überall folgen, wo wir verfügbar sind. Das ist Facebook, Instagram, Twitter und Twitch. Und wenn wir irgendwelche Ankündigungen machen oder Posts, dann shared, was das Zeug hält. Gebt uns all eure Liebe.
Wir haben mittlerweile ziemlich signifikante Kosten. Wenn ihr es euch irgendwie leisten könnt, unterstützt uns doch auf Patreon. Dann kommt ihr auch in den Genuss verschiedener Vorteile, wie zum Beispiel Zugang zu unserer Discord-Community oder Zugang zu den ultrageheimen Patreon-Episoden, die wir dort posten. Außerdem könnt ihr uns natürlich auch über PayPal Spenden zukommen lassen.
Außerdem haben wir mittlerweile einen eigenen Online-Shop. Das heißt, wenn ihr euch immer noch fragt, was ihr euren Lieben zu Weihnachten, Ostern oder sonst wie schenken könnt, geht dorthin und kauft duftes Merch.
Alle Links dazu hier in der Beschreibung oder auch auf unserer Webseite 99zu1.de.
Vielen Dank fürs Dabeisein, danke für die Unterstützung und wir sehen uns in diesem Theater.